Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome to my channel. This is gonna be about how I told my parents that I was pregnant. So this is fun. Let's get started. So I actually have everything written down in my journal, so I may be looking down just kind of for references, but I believe I have it all in my head because it's kind of hard to forget. So I'm just gonna start in with how I told my mom. Backstory, basically we were fighting for 3 days, which is super weird because me and my mom are really close, so it definitely was a big fight. I don't necessarily remember all the nitty-gritty details of what we were fighting about because it kind of went from one thing to another, it just trickled on. So, I do know what I was most mad about though was my phone being off. And the reason being was because I thought that I needed communication just because I was pregnant and she didn't know I was pregnant. So, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. If I start bleeding, if this, and this happens, I'm not going to be able to call 911. I'm not going to be able to call anybody. And she didn't know. So I knew that I needed to tell her that I was pregnant. Not necessarily to get my phone turned back on, but just because it's kind of important for her to know. So we definitely just needed to end the fight. So the day after I found out, it was time, I just couldn't hold it in, I just couldn't hold it in. So, basically, she was sleeping on the couch, and I believe she probably fell asleep from the night before, maybe watching TV, I don't know, because she didn't have, a blanket on, she still had her glasses on and stuff, so you could tell, she definitely fell asleep there. So, this was in the morning, at 7 o'clock. And so I went and grabbed a blanket and I put it over her and I took her glasses off and I went to the bathroom. And so when I came back to my room, she was inside my bed. So I guess that woke her up and obviously she wanted to talk it out too. You could just tell in the air, we just wanted this resolved. So it was kind of a agree to disagree type situation because we were both super duper stubborn and I wasn't going to admit that I was wrong. She wasn't going to admit that she was wrong, which I think honestly we were both wrong in some ways. So we were just laying there having a heart to heart, just kind of talking about random things. And I just knew this was the perfect time. We were made up. We were, having a heart to heart, this perfect time. So I was like, oh my God, do it in my head. I just kept telling myself, just do it. Every time, the conversation just kind of went on, I was just like, come on, just say it, come on. So finally, I just was like, Mom. And she could tell, I was being serious. So she looks at me and says, don't say it. I'm like, she can't know. What do you mean don't say it? I was just like, what? And then I was like, say what? And she was just like, those 5 words. And in my head, I'm like, sorry, Mom, I am pregnant. This bitch knows. I was just like, what the hell? And I was literally freaking out in my head. I was just like, oh my God. She find the test? I took it at Albertsons for a reason. I didn't take it at home. I hid that shit. What the hell? I was just like, oh my God, how did she know? My mom knows my cycle because it's just me, her, and my grandma living in the house. So, when somebody's on their period, we're all on our period. So she knew I was 5 days late. And so, I was just like, I guess she just kind of put the pieces together. I don't know. And so I'm freaking out. And I was just like, what 5 words? And she's just like, those 5 words. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. So finally, I just say it. I'm just like, sorry, Mom, I am pregnant. So right after I say it, I start bawling because telling your parents is a lot harder than being pregnant at a young age. I guaranteed. I was just so scared. So, she just kind of looked at me. You could tell I was processing. And she opened up her arms, gave me a big hug because I was crying, and she was like, it's okay, like, we've got this, like, you could do this, you know, you're beyond your years, blah, blah, like, she's just, like, pumping me up, like, I could do this, I could do this. So, which was definitely crazy to me because my mom, my entire life, has been so strict. I mean, with good reason, I'm still alive. So, and definitely being in the parent shoes, I could already tell I'm gonna be a strict mom. Anyway, so I was just like, am I, like, what? Like, what? Like, you're not yelling at me. You're, like, being supportive. Like, where's my mom? Like, not that she's not supportive or anything, but, like, I've just always thought, like, she would have, like, flipped shit and, yeah, World War III. No, it definitely wasn't like that at all. Thank God. So she was just basically trying to calm me down, because I was crying, and she was like, you don't want to upset the baby, like, just calm down, calm down. And so she just continues talking, and she was just like, wow, my daughter's pregnant. And you could tell it's obviously processing in her head. And she just continues, like, kind of like rambling on, talking to herself, kind of like, wow, my daughter's pregnant. And so I think that's when it finally hit her of, wow, your daughter is pregnant. And she then started crying. You know, not her fault, obviously. There's gonna be tears. So, yeah, she starts crying, and she's like, you're not gonna be able to live your 20s out. You're not going, what about college? What about school? Like, you need to stay in school. All of this, you know, it just is completely crushing her. And you could feel, oh, you could feel the heartbreak. Like, it was just, oh, like, the worst thing is disappointing your parents. And I don't think she's necessarily disappointed anymore. But obviously at the time she was, and it just was heartbreaking. So that started making me cry because she's crying and she didn't want to upset me. So she was just like, I need to step out, you know, process this by myself just for a second. You just need to calm down. Everything's going to be okay. You stay here, like, I'm gonna go out there. So she leaves to her room, which is across the hallway. So not super far away, but far away enough where, like, you know, you shouldn't hear what's in that bedroom. And just to give you, you know, a sense of how loud it was, like, she was crying. Like, I had my headphones in, turned up, because I was trying to drown out her cries. And I don't mean that rudely or anything. It was just, like, breaking my heart. And I was like, I don't want to hear this. And so I'm, like, trying to drown it out, trying to calm myself down. And you could still hear her cries. And I'm, like, playing, like, Sleeping with Sirens just because, like, which, I mean, isn't, like, crazy screamo music or anything. But, like, I'm just trying to drown it out. Like, oh, my God, please. And it was just terrible. And so then I hear, like, probably about after 20 minutes of this crying, I hear her come out to the living room, and she's on the phone. And I was like, who are you telling? Like, wait. So, like, I run out there, and she's on the phone with my grandma, which is her mom, who also lives with us. And backstory on that, my grandma is my second parent. Definitely 100%. Even when we weren't living together, she's always been, like, across the street. Like, my grandma has always been like my dad, her and my uncle both. But anyway, so yeah, she was telling my grandma, and so I was just like, wait, that's ripping 2 Band-Aids off at a time. Like, I can't handle that today. So I was just like, please don't tell anybody else. And I'm, like, running out, like, wait. And I hear my grandma, like, oh my God, I'm gonna be a great grandma. And she's happy. I was like, Grandma, what are you on? Like, why are you happy? So, like, my mom passes me the phone because I don't think that's the reaction. I think my mom wanted to, like, I don't know, like, relate to somebody of, like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? So, and my grandma was just, like, on cloud 9. So my grandma, another backstory, my mom had me at 39 years old. So definitely she is an older mom. And so my grandma is 80 years old and I'm 18 now. So I was 17 at the time, but I'm 18 now. So my grandma never thought that she was going to have great kids or great grandkids, and she has great kids, but she never thought that she was going to witness it, basically. And so that's why she was really happy. Also, put it in perspective, she's 80 years old. So if you go back 80 years ago, you got married at 16 and you had babies, and at 16 and I was 17, so like that was like a step up. So she was really happy, and I think that was probably one of the best moments I've ever had with her, and during my pregnancy, one of the best words that I've ever gotten, just like what she told me on the phone of like, you have the greatest support system, you are blessed, and you know, all of this, and just that she was 17 and pregnant as well, like she could do it, I could do it. And so, yeah, that was just really helpful to hear. That was definitely made me feel a lot better and more secure in this pregnancy. So, with that, that is how they found out. Now, my father is a complete different story. My father has been in and out of my life since I was 7 years old. So, it took me a while to contemplate if I wanted to even tell him, because I didn't know if I wanted him in my son's life, in my life, because I didn't want him coming in and out of his life. So, because it's hurtful, like, especially if you've gone through that before with any parent, with anybody, really, it's hard. So, sorry, that's some pregnancy burps. So anyway, I waited till I was 6 months pregnant to tell my dad. It took that long to contemplate and really weigh out the pros and cons. On one side, I didn't want to hold back my child from knowing his grandfather, and I wanted my child to grow up with as much family as possible, because I didn't. And that really sucks, not having a lot of family. And don't get me wrong, the family that I have or had is amazing, definitely 100%, like they fulfilled everything, but it still sucks. So I just wanted him to be able to have that, and I didn't want him, I don't know, it was a lot. So, you know, on the other hand, like, is he even gonna stay in the life? Is this gonna hurt my child in the long run? It's a lot. So finally, I came to the conclusion that I would talk with him, and not in person, because I'll go on to that after. But I was going to talk with him in regards to, like, look, you've been in and out of my life. You have no right to be upset with this, because you haven't really stuck around long enough to be a parent. So I didn't want any negativity from him. Like, yeah, my mom, if she wants to go and say, like, what are you doing with your life, blah, 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 and yell at me like that, she has full right. She has been there, you know, he hasn't. So, that's just kind of where I stood with that. So that's exactly what I did. I wrote him a really long paragraph of like, hey, I have something big to tell you. I am pregnant, and I don't want to hear any lip about it, because it is what it is. You weren't here. So I don't believe that you have a right to be upset. I said that if you want to be in his life and my life, then you need to put as much effort as I do. And just, it was a really long text. So it took a day for him to reply, which is understandable, but he didn't say anything negative, which really, you know, kind of shocked me, because I know I said, like, don't say anything negative, but I didn't really think he was going to not say anything negative, but it was good, because it didn't piss me off, you know? So he basically just said, hey, like, we need to meet up and talk about this in person. So I was just like, oh, you're right. So we set up a lunch, and we did talk about it in person, and we didn't talk everything out. Of course, there's still, like, resentment in me, and I don't know if that will ever fully go away, But we definitely are building on our relationship, which makes me so happy. And I could tell it's different this time, or at least I hope it's different this time, because he is really putting in effort. He's messaging me like at least once a week. How are you doing? How is the baby? He's trying to go to ultrasounds. He's going to my baby shower, which is going to be co-ed. So just like little things, like he's just meeting up with me just to have lunch. And it's just really great to have that. So I believe from right now he will be in my son's life. And that is basically how I told him. Besides that, I don't really have any other like major family where I got to see the reaction, because my mom kind of spread the word for me with my consent, obviously, of who to tell and everything like that. It wasn't a huge secret. Like, I didn't want my pregnancy. My pregnancy isn't a huge secret at all. It was just I was really scared for reactions because I'm a really sensitive person, and especially hormonal, like that just makes things 100 times worse. So I don't know. I was fine with my mom telling. And then just to kind of go back, fast forward, my mom now is 100% supportive. She's so excited to meet her grandbaby. She thinks that everything happens for a reason, as do I, which I will make another video about that, because I have some really, I don't know if you believe in signs, but I definitely do, and there are a lot of signs with this pregnancy that are really amazing. I forgot to say, however, to finish the story, I checked back with my mom probably about a month after I told her about those 5 words. And it turns out the 5 words were, "Mom, please turn on my phone, please." That's what the 5 words were. Not, "Sorry, Mom, I am pregnant." So she damn bamboozled me on that. That's, I don't know. Forever that will be like our joke of, we always say now like those 5 words or just something like that, just because I was literally tripping out in my head of how she knew. No, she did not have any idea. She thought that I was asking for my phone to be turned back on, which obviously it ended up turning back on just because of the communication thing. So that is how I told everybody. If you guys have any questions, go ahead, leave it in the comment section. If you need any help with telling your parents, I'm here for you, girl. It's hard. It's hard, but I will give you the best advice that I can. So yeah, so go ahead, subscribe if you liked this video and to see more. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.